You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hamptons Television.
Nature's Little Secrets.
It is indeed a pleasure to welcome new sponsors here at the Hampton Classic, but sponsors who bring to the Hampton Classic a beautiful, beautiful island, and that's the British Virgin Islands. And we're so happy that you're here. This is Sharon, Perla, and Shonda. And Sharon, you're the Director of Tourism for the British Virgin Islands.
Yes, Director of Tourism for the beautiful British Virgin Islands. We're so happy to be here at the Hampton Classic and to be one of the sponsors.
Excellent. Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Perla and Shonda at the sponsors meeting in New York. And what was your decision to come and be part of this Hampton Classic Horse Show?
Well, we love anything associated with horses and racing. Actually, in the British Virgin Islands, we actually have a horse racing track in Tortola. So we're sort of we like that kind of vibe. And to be perfectly honest, the New York area is a big area for us as far as tourism is concerned, and we like to think that the New York guest, the one who comes to the Hampton in the summer, is our winter guest.
Well, that is so appropriate because this market attracts, and this event attracts people who love quality, and the British Virgin Islands is a quality destination. And you're giving us an opportunity to know more about the British Virgin Islands. So how has your Hampton Classic experience been so far? Perla, let me ask you that question.
Wonderful.
You enjoy being here?
Yes, very much so. And we are meeting a lot of our guests and past clients, reminiscing about their visit to the BVI.
And Chandra, do you like horses?
Love horses. Like our director mentioned, we have a horsing event in the destination as well in Tortola. And as locals, it's something that we look forward to all the time.
Now tell us more about the British Virgin Islands. What islands do they encompass? What are the destinations that you guys represent?
Well, actually, the British Virgin Islands, we like to say we're a collection of islands. We're about 60 different islands, islets, rocks, and keys. We have Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Peter Island. We also have what we like to say we have one of the largest collections of private islands. You may be familiar with Necker Island, which is owned by Sir Richard Branson. He has an island in the British Virgin Islands, and so does Larry Paige, Eustatia Island. And those islands are also available for holiday, vacation, rentals as well.
Well, you mentioned two billionaires, so...
Yes.
But it's nice to know that us regular people can come and enjoy.
Most definitely, and that's the good thing about the BVI in terms of our luxury guests. We like to say that luxury is not necessarily maybe a dollar value. It's the quality of the experience. So we have something for everyone. From the vacation homes that are only priced at maybe about $200 a night, and we go all the way up to that very big number.
Now, I learned that the boating community, which is major here on the eastern end of Long Island, the Hamptons, is very interested in the British Virgin Islands.
Yes, again, as I said, we're something for everyone. We consider ourselves, we like to boast a little bit, we consider ourselves the sailing capital of the world. You can bareboat, you can charter, there are mega yachts, you name it, we're underwater. And the great thing about the BVI is that our islands are so close together that there's always line of sight. You can always see land somewhere. I actually live on Virgin Gorda and work in Tortola, so I take the boat every day. And it's sort of fun, actually.
I think you all have dream jobs. I live in Brooklyn, so.
But that means that you'll enjoy coming to the British Virgin Islands.
Absolutely. It would be a pleasure. You have stability, you have culture, you have everything and beauty, anything anyone would want in going to a vacation destination. And now you're here, and we wish that you'll be part of the Hampton Classic Horse Show. This is a tradition. We're celebrating our 42nd year. We hope that British Virgin Islands will always be part of our future here, because you've got the next step.
Yes, and this is our first year with the Hampton Classic, but you can be sure that it certainly would not be the last.
Well, we would really like that. Now, is there a website?
Yes, there is, most definitely. It's VVH-tourism.com.
Now, when our viewers are watching this, you've got some sort of special contest going on, which I see is being promoted. Could we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have partnered with one of our hoteliers, actually on one of our private island resorts, meaning there's just one resort on the island, and that's Peter Island Resort and Spa. And they have partnered with us, and we are doing a 3-night trip giveaway for 2 guests. And that does include airfare, the meals, and it even includes a 75-minute couples massage. And it's a great opportunity for anyone that wants to come and visit us. We encourage you to visit us at the booth and enter to win the giveaway.
Okay. They must come to the booth, register, as that gentleman is doing right now.
Yeah. Perfect.
I think he's been on that list twice there,
yes.
right? We're going to have to check the entries here.
The entries.
But if you come to the Hampton Classic, you register.
Register to win. Who knows? You know, we might see you in the British Virgin Islands, and we welcome our guests as well. So whoever is fortunate to be that person, you'll get to meet either Perla, Shonda, or myself in the British Virgin Islands.
And Larry Page and
you never
Sir
know.
Richard Branson
you
also.
You never know. They're usually, especially Sir Branson. He's always up for taking a photo with someone.
He is. He's a good, fun guy. We've had occasion, because he's in the motion picture television business, and I'll tell you stories later.
Yes.
But for now, thank you for being part of our Hampton Classic Horse Show, and what a beautiful destination. Thank you, each and every one of you.
Thank you for having us.
Come to the British Virgin Islands. Let's keep this between us.
And you can visit our website, bvitourism.com.
Here at the Hampton Classic, there are 2 things that go together. This is the VIP tent, and this is VIP Michael Bravoman. And Michael, you love this event, don't you?
Well, you're being very generous, but I do love this event.
I'm being accurate, I tell you. He's on the board also of the Hampton Classic.
I'm on the board of directors, and I'm here all day, every day, all week.
And you give of your time. You've always been someone who cares about this community and the good work that this organization does, the Hampton Classic organization.
Well, you know, we have a very small board, and everyone on it is dedicated to this show.
This show, I mean, you've been part of it for a number of years.
Decades.
So have we, but not to the extent that you've been. It really has evolved into something. It always started out with the best of intentions to support Southampton Hospital. Mm-hmm. Now Southampton Hospital is Stony Brook University, Southampton.
Well, you know, we give a very generous contribution to the hospital every year from the board of the Classic.
Well, our viewers should know Southampton, the hospital, now Stony Brook University, is it.
Yeah.
If you're sick out here, New York is 2 hours away, so you know we all depend, whoever you are, whatever walk of life. Tell us about this event, what it means to you.
Well, it's I measure my life by this event. You know, some people measure their lives by birthdays or New Year's. For me, the year ends after the Classic, and but it's a wonderful gathering. You know, certainly it's all about the sport. We stable 1,300 horses here on the grounds. We have riders from all over the world. And you won't see better show jumping anyplace.
It's a major commitment, and we thank people like yourself who are on the board, who give of their time to make this event so successful.
And WVVH has done its part for many years.
Well, and you know, you've been part of our growth and our history, and you've worked with us alongside of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful to be on both sides here.
You know, Michael, as I mentioned, you're world-renowned. If you're here in the Hamptons and you see Michael Bravoman, it's first-class event, that's for sure. But I'll always think of you as one of our crew members and someone who is standing behind that camera doing all good work.
I always will be.
The Hampton Classic is a major Suffolk County cultural event, and we're joined by Diana Cherry Holmes, who's chairman of the Suffolk County Film Commission and also involved in Suffolk County government and economic development.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The Suffolk County Film Commission is a department or division of the Department of Economic Development and Planning for Suffolk County. So we're delighted to be here today.
Events like this create business, are great for the community, and highlight what Suffolk County is all about.
Absolutely. This is what we like to see, long-standing events that really have a huge economic return to the community.
The economic return multiplies, but this is what you do because another important part of your job as being the chair of the Suffolk County Film Commission is you bring movies and television and all sorts of production here to Suffolk County.
That's right. We like to market Suffolk County for locations and services that we provide to the film industry. We've had a lot of great programs come through. Last summer we had Detour at Vanderbilt Museum. We had Friends from College on the North Fork and the wineries and in Riverhead. We had Younger, Girls, The Path, The Affair, all in Montauk and different points of Southampton. And Rough Night, a feature film, was filmed nearly entirely in Southampton.
I think people love seeing their local locations on video, on film. But more importantly, this is what gives jobs, careers. I mean, it sells donuts. We know, as a local business, if we succeed, our community succeeds.
Absolutely. And we like to see the film industry come in and have their crew eat at our restaurants in the evening. I know that the producer of Girls this last year really enjoyed the restaurants in Montauk. And this was after the tourist season had officially ended. And they really had the village to themselves and a really brilliant time.
So what's your typical day like, Diana?
Well, I am a government employee, so I am fielding calls from film industry all the time. But also my other hat is Suffolk County Office of Cultural Affairs. And we have grant programs, the competitive cultural grant programs. And we provide consulting services to nonprofit organizations, arts nonprofits, which is also a lot of fun, and get to use some other kind of synaptic grooves going on in my brain for those tasks. I want to pitch the cultural grants. Those opportunities are coming out now with the deadline for 2018 activities. It's October 20th, 2017. We're going to be giving four workshops all around Suffolk County. You can pull down all the information. It's live right now at SuffolkArtsandFilm.com.
So if someone is interested in a grant to...
Right. Nonprofit. You have to be a nonprofit organization or have a nonprofit sponsor. And they're highly competitive. And we like to see good, healthy competition and support wonderful community-driven arts organizations.
Well, we thank you for coming here to the Hampton Classic to hang out in the sun and enjoy these beautiful horses behind us. There's a lot going on in this particular place. I have a funny story for you.
Okay.
Now that I've got the person who's in charge of television and motion pictures for Suffolk County. There was a famous producer who wanted to produce a movie, but what he wanted to do was recreate the Hampton Classic VIP tent.
Oh, really?
And he said, I really want to capture the VIP tent. And he wanted to shoot this in, and not when it's on here at the Hampton Classic. And believe it or not, it became so prohibitively expensive
Really?
to try to recreate what we have here of people enjoying this great event or whatever that they ended up, I don't know what they ended up doing. I think they cut it out of the movie. And that's basically what you do. You bring people to situations where they can take the benefit of what is
Right.
naturally there.
That's exactly right. We have an index of locations, and if you need dunes, McAllister County Park, right by Port Jefferson, is the place to go to. It's stunningly beautiful. When I saw it for the first time, I just couldn't believe. It's so beautiful, and it's actually frequently used in high-end fashion shoots. So it's a real asset to the county.
Well, this is what you do, and you do it so well, and you
Thank
have
you.
a great team of people
We
who
do.
support what you're doing. And for any filmmaker, you could lead the way. You could show them where to go.
Well, thank you very much. It does take a team. I have an excellent commissioner, Teresa Ward, of Economic Development and
Yes.
Planning, and our county executive, Steve Ballone, is right behind the Film Commission and Cultural Arts. So it's really great to work in a supportive environment and get the word out and have the film productions come and shoot in Suffolk County, and they do. And we're really pleased for that.
And the website, Diana?
SuffolkCountyFilmCommission.com.
All right, Diana Cherryholm, continued success. We really
Thank you.
value what you do for the benefit of everyone in the Suffolk community.
Thank you very much.
The Hampton Classic is the major event now here in Bridgehampton, but we're going to have a major event in October, and that's the Hamptons International Film Festival. And I'm joined by Anne Chasson, who is the executive director, and you guys are celebrating 25 years.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's our silver anniversary. We're all sort of in shock that it's been 25 years ourselves, but we've been celebrating all year long. I don't know if you've been able to join us at anything,
Yes.
but we have been doing a countdown of one film from each year, starting from the very beginning, throughout the entire Hamptons.
Well,
So
we thank you for stopping by, because our viewers are going to learn something. This is the inside scoop for this great
Yes,
event.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to get into it, because you're going to learn where to sign up for tickets as soon as you can, because this year it's going to be truly outstanding, as previous years have been.
Sure, absolutely. We're planning to be in all the same places we've been for the past 5 to 7 years, which is a little known fact is that we are the only event out east that happens in every single village. Did you realize that?
With
At the
separate
same
events,
time,
separate venues,
at the same weekend, Columbus Day weekend.
and making it as accessible as possible for everyone.
We have a ticket price range of free to whatever that other number might be. So you can go see panels for free, you can meet filmmakers on panels, you can see a film for as little as $8. It just depends. You have to look at our schedule and look at the full offering and the catalog, and you do need to take time to sort of map your day out, because some films might be in Sag Harbor, a film might be in Southampton, you might want to see something in East Hampton or Montauk. So it's important to understand well ahead what the offerings are and how to get access. So the very first date you should remember is that the online guide will be available on September 18th, online, hamptonsfilmfest.org. Passes go on sale on Tuesday, this Tuesday, September 5th, hamptonsfilmfest.org.
And this is a sellout for our viewers. This is the main event, because it's one of the most, I'll say, finest film festivals that one could find. I mean, film festivals are known throughout the world, but what
This
the
is true.
Hamptons International Film Festival, if they say up close, personal, so you get that feeling of how many Academy Award winners over the past few years have been picked by the HIFF?
Our wonderful artistic director, David Nugent, 8 years in a row. And last year we had Moonlight and La La Land. We had them both, so it didn't matter who won.
So if you come to the festival, you'll know before the Academy Award.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
let's talk about this year's festival. We love films that have a local connection, and you've got a really special one for opening night.
Yes, it is the world premiere of a documentary called Itzhak, about Itzhak Perlman, who wonderfully has the Perlman Music Group and Camp in Shelter Island here every year, but he's never been the subject of his very own documentary. And we're so proud it's opening the film festival because that is a local tie. A, it's our 25th anniversary, and B, he and his wife are the just nicest, funniest, more amusing people to watch go through their lives together, that I think people will be surprised to see how human he is, while also having this extraordinary talent. So it's going to be very exciting. He and his wife will both be there, of course.
Now, in addition to that, there's one of your films, because I was reviewing the information that we've been able to glean. This is all coming out right now. It's a film called Killer Bees that's based on the basketball team from right here in Bridgehampton.
That's right.
And I noticed that the producer is Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, amazing, right?
I mean, this is unbelievable.
So this is truly, the story of the little engine that could. The Bridgehampton High School basketball team, the Killer Bees, has been a state championship since the 70s. Believe it or not, there was a run in the 70s, a run in the 80s, and a run in the 90s where they were state champions years in a row, producing many NBA basketball players. And so it hadn't happened in a long time. And in 2015, they won the state it was 2014 they won the state championship. And so local filmmakers who have had films in the festival many times, Ben and Orson Cummings, decided to pick up the camera and follow them for the next year through that season. So you see the ups and downs and the hardships and all the games they're playing. But on top of that, there is a very diverse community out here in the Hamptons. Many people don't know. They assume everyone's extremely mega wealthy, but this is a place that fishermen mix with gardeners, mix with people in the media, mix with billionaires, and there's also a very vibrant African-American community here, and most of the players on the team, except for one, are all African-American, and so is the coach, who also had played on the
Bridgehampton locals.
Yes. So,
I mean, that is
it
so
sort of gives you a
outstanding.
huge history of the area and who's here and why they're here and how did they get here and what's going on today. So,
And the categories of films. Could we talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Because HIFF has really been the first to create special categories. I'm thinking of conflict.
Right, with sidebar programs. That's what we
Yes.
call them.
Yes.
We started 17 years ago a program called Conflict and Resolution, which was to explore war-torn areas, but not just to show you the horrors of war, but to also have a film that goes one step further, find the films that go one step further and talk about how those communities or those people or those countries are bridging the gap to try to get to a resolution. The first year, apparently, there was an Israeli-Palestine film. There were Israelis and Palestinians in the audience, and the audience members, weirdly enough, started to heckle the Palestinian, and the Israeli director
I was there, and I remember
came to
that.
her
yes.
aid, which is,
was
we
wonderful.
were so proud of. That was the whole point of doing this program, and ever since then, we've done films. It's been 17 years, like I said, so we've done films from all over the place, and sometimes we create a theme: children in war-torn areas, or women in war-torn areas, or the refugee crisis. It's very popular. It's been very successful in terms of. It has spawned a whole group of people who want to do good for these films. And so the films come, they're involved in the program, they can do what they do and expand that across the international landscape for individual films. So it's just been fantastic.
There's so much. I mean, from shorts to major motion pictures.
We've also created 2 new programs. I don't know if you know this. 3 years ago, we started Compassion, Justice, Animal Rights, which has also now this whole other group of people who only come to the festival not only for that particular section, but that's why they're here. So it's films about animals, mostly in peril.
And a lot
or
of
to the
star
other
watching
side.
also.
There's no doubt. On that animal side, there's lots of stars there. It's very funny. And then we started an environmental track last year, Air, Land, and Sea, which will have 2 very interesting films coming for that, which we'll be announcing shortly. We haven't done that yet, but yes.
Conversation with?
Yes, we do. We've been doing
Has
that
that been
since the
announced
very
yet,
beginning.
too?
Only one person has been announced so far. That's Rob Reiner. The famous Rob Reiner has a new film that he
I love
directed
that guy.
called LBJ, about Lyndon Baines Johnson. Woody Harrelson plays LBJ. Jennifer Jason Leigh plays Lady Bird Johnson. So we're very excited to have that film and see him.
If our viewers, if you go and see Rob Reiner in a conversation with,
can you imagine
and if
how
the
funny?
subject turns political, be prepared for
Fireworks. Truly fireworks, yes.
And we heard Jennifer Garner also is involved in the motion picture. So a lot of things happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. A ton.
Okay.
And also don't forget we're giving Julie Andrews a Lifetime Achievement Award,
Well
talking about
deserved.
local ties.
Sag Harbor.
Internationally famous Dame Julie Andrews is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from us on our silver
venues all
anniversary.
over Sag Harbor, East Hampton,
Southampton.
Wow, this is so good. This is great. And thank you for coming to the Hampton Classic Horse Show. We wanted to get this into this show because our viewers are going to be very depressed when we're concluded. We've been giving them Hampton Classic coverage 5 hours a day live.
What
television.
could go wrong? Look at this weather. Look how beautiful this is.
So don't be depressed. Go to the Hamptons International Film Fest at
October 5th to the 9th, Columbus Day weekend.
The website again?
hamptonsfilmfest.org.
Okay, now you know. You're the first to know. Run in. Let's do it. It's going to be a great show. And we will be there. We've been one of your media partners since 1996. Could you imagine?
Wow. Long time.
Long time. We haven't got thrown out yet, so I guess we'll...
you won't be getting thrown out. No.
All right, we're going to give it our best again. We love it, and we're very supportive of what you're doing and your fine staff there at HIFF.
Thank you so much. Please join us.
The Hamptons International Film Festival is noted for their posters, but this year, something special with a local connection.
Yes, well, actually, they're all local connections, believe it or not. Yes, so for 25 years, we have commissioned a local artist. They may be internationally known, but they are local in terms of living here or having a home here. Eric Fischel was our poster artist the very first year, and so we invited him back to do our 25th anniversary. Everyone from April Gornick, his wife, Julian Schnabel, Dan Rizzi, Donald Sultan, Bruce Weber, Jim Gingrich, Barbara Kruger. I mean, the list goes on, and we plan to exhibit them all, and you can buy them signed and unsigned this year, all at Mulford Farm in East Hampton.
One of the great categories that we love are views from Long Island, and you've got something special for us.
Absolutely. We have been doing this program for a very long time, supported by the Suffolk County Film Commission. And there are always tons of films that are made about Long Islanders, and sometimes mostly out here on the East End. And there is this really special film, first-time filmmaker. It's called Wanderland, and everyone who lives out here will understand this completely. It's a New York City boy who's never been to the Hamptons, rents someone's home, comes out, finally finds the house, and then goes to the beach, and his phone dies, and he can't remember how to get back to the house. And then he wrecks the car, and he has to rely on the goodness of East Enders to get him through the evening to figure out how to fix his car, how to communicate with anyone, how to get back to his house. He ends up in every village, all in one night. Every landmark that we all know and love is in this movie. So it's just really funny and really special. And the lead is really interesting to watch. But Ron Gutman and Harris Yulin and Richard Kind, everyone's in the movie. Josh Gladstone. So it's really fun. We can't wait for everyone here to see it.
Cornell Cooperative is an important part of the Hamptons and the East End. You guys do such important work, and this is Kim Barber, who is part of Cornell Cooperative, but also serves as host for a TV program that you guys produce.
On the water and in the field.
That's right, I always got to get those together, on the water and in the field. Welcome to the Hampton Classic Horse Show.
Thank you. Thanks. It's great to be here.
Cornell Cooperative has a presence here at the Hampton Classic, and it's pretty exciting.
We do. We're very excited this year. Not only were we in the children's tent with a nice little craft project and some outreach and education, but we were selected as one of the charities to be featured in the Jump for Charity, which is happening right here, right now as we speak. And we're so honored to be a part of this great event. And McLean Ward is our team captain, and he actually won the jump last year, so we're hoping we have some good luck again. And it's really great. It's the top 3 teams that win up on top will walk away with a nice money for their causes today. So our causes are our Save Our Seahorses initiative. So we're doing a lot with seahorse conservation and research to understand the species a little bit better. Of course, restore some habitat, so it fits in with our eelgrass habitat restoration work as well. But it's a great way to get students and adults and children of all ages involved in some of the monitoring work we're doing to try to understand the populations a little bit more and just raise awareness, kind of have it be the ambassador of our eelgrass meadows too, that people care about our seahorses. So it's been a good way to kind of get people interested and involved in some of the other work we're doing.
Well, the work that you guys do is so important because you are the stewards of the environment here. And what you do is 24/7 trying to save this land, the sea, the air. It's a fragile balance, isn't it?
It certainly is. It certainly is, and that's at Cornell. We have a lot of different program areas, but everything from water quality monitoring and doing different studies to try to understand about our pollution sources, so we could then use different methodology to try to abate some of that pollution getting into our water systems. We do a lot with habitat restoration, as I mentioned, so a lot with our eelgrass habitat and coastal wetland habitat restoration. We're doing a lot of aquaculture is a huge part of what we do. We work with a lot of local aquaculturists and commercial guys learning how to oyster farm. We consult with them and try to get them started, and of course our SPAT program where anybody could actually learn how to be a recreational oyster farmer themselves. So that's a huge problem. It's a huge program and a great way to get people involved, and we find the more hands-on opportunities we have, we make that stewardship connection and people really do care because now they have an active role in it. So it's great.
And it's an active, you mentioned an active role for people to get involved, to volunteer. Now, who is this beautiful lady I'm watching here who's a future equestrian? I know.
She's a future equestrian, a future marine biologist, all of the above, right? This little baby is Elsie Barber. Say hi.
Thank you so much for the work that you do, for hosting this program that we air on WVVH-TV. You got such a great team with Rory McNish, who's been doing this for a number of years.
Oh, many years, yeah. He's our trusty director and producer, and he makes the show happen. He makes me look good. It's all good.
As the host of the show, you do a great job in your own right. The fact that you've got McLean Ward as your person out front, I think is pretty good for you guys.
I am so happy. I feel good. We'll be cheering him on for sure, and we'll see how it goes. But
is there any way for our viewers to be involved in this fundraising effort for Cornell Cooperative?
Absolutely, yeah. Visiting our website, ccsuffolk.org, and just search the Marine Program, and we have a lot of information on there. And also, I believe even after the Jump for Charity, the charity hats are still for sale. So it'll say Save Our Seahorses, Cornell Cooperative Extension. McLean Ward signed all the hats, and it's a $100 donation for the hat to help this project operate. And whoever ends up winning, there's some really great other charities that we're side by side with. So whoever wins, our communities will still benefit because there's some really great charities that we're part of this with today too.
So wonderful. Kim Barber, Cornell Cooperative, and thank you, future marine biologist and equestrian. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
I'm here with Dave with the Hart Equine Ambulance. A lot of people don't really realize that we do have such a thing as an equine ambulance here at the Hampton Classic and at other horse shows around the country as well. Tell us a little bit about this vehicle and the services that you provide.
We actually provide rapid transport for sick and injured horses. It can be something minor from a strain, a colic, anything like that we're able to take care of. We have sleds and glides inside the trailer here. If a horse is unable to walk, we will work with a vet and the horse can be sedated, put on the sled, and transported into the unit and taken to the closest appropriate facility to take care of it.
Got you. And you're here full-time at the Hampton Classic, yes?
Yes, sir. We're here about an hour before the show starts and generally about an hour after it's over.
And I suppose we all hope that you sit around with nothing to do, but I imagine every now and then you are called into action.
Every now and then, yes, sir. But hopefully we're the most bored people at the show, absolutely. We are available even after we leave the show 24 hours a day. We are staying within about 15 minutes of here.
Can you show us a bit what's inside?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Thank you, Dave. Just a fascinating concept, but of course very welcome because every now and then something will happen. So what do we have?
This is one of the sleds I was describing to you. And what we can do, we have hobbles and straps that we're able, once the horse is sedated by a vet, that we can put it onto here, and we have a winch up in the front, and we can slide the horse up into the unit if it's unable to be mobile or walk itself in. We actually have a screen up in the corner here, and this is 40 foot long. And what we do with this, if a horse is injured or down in the ring, we'll get some ring crew to help us, and we provide privacy for the horse just like you would for a human or something like that.
Right, very, very good. And I trust that you don't have to use that very often.
Thankfully, we do not have to use that very often.
Very good. But the important thing, as with anything, is if needed, you're here and you're ready.
We do have it available, yes, sir. We do carry a couple of splints and things like that with us. The trailer itself, the wall behind you here, is able to come around. We can make 2 box stalls, or we can make 2 single stalls and a box stall. Hopefully the event never happens, but we could transport up to 3 horses maximum if needed.
And HEART, of course, is a non-profit organization that people can support.
Yes, sir, it is.
In fact, we have here at the Hampton Classic our Jump for Charity, where we have 10 teams jumping, for each one for a different charity, and I happen to be wearing my hat that is supporting the HEART Equine Ambulance.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. And yes, people can go to the website and make donations. People can go to the website and look at our schedule. If you were to need us at one of your facilities or something for our services, everything is available on our website.
Well, Dave, we're thrilled we're here, that you're here, and we thank you for being here, and we wish you a very boring time here.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it very much.
This always is a favorite for so many people when they see the Land Rover up on the rocks. As we continue looking around at the many boutiques here at the Hampton Classic, we come to another gorgeous one. We're here with Susan at Boy Oh Boy Bridal Works. Susan, tell us about what you got here.
Hi, Marty. Thanks for having us. These are hand-woven leather and ribbon belts, dog collars and leads, and even hats made in the Artisan Studio in Virginia. The company is owned by Amanda Hood, who's off actually competing in a jumper class right now.
Right here at the Hampton Classic?
Right here at the Hampton Classic.
How cool.
It's very cool. Amanda founded this company because she began riding in Ireland as a child, and they had these beautiful ribbon brow bands, and she'd never seen them in this country. So about 3 years ago, she started making them just for herself and her jumpers, and her friends came along and wanted one. And then next thing you know, she was making belts to match, and she started the company about 3 years ago. So when she told me she wanted to come show at the Hampton Classic this year, I said, well, bring the booth. This is a great place to introduce people to these wonderful products, and it is.
And I see some of these really cool special edition belts that you have here.
Oh yes, we make them for prizes at some of the best horse shows in the country, Devon, Capital Challenge, different places like that. And next year, I hear a rumor they'll be here at the Hampton Classic as well.
Well, we really hope so. I see, look at this. You got Devon, you got the Ridge, you got Upperville, you got Dressage at Devon. Really, really cool. And I think there is a place there for the Hampton Classic.
Yes, we're very excited to do that next year, and I always bring all my brands to the Hampton Classic to make them bigger and better, and this is the next one, the next best thing.
And I love your display here. You obviously have dogs, too.
Yes, dogs. We love the dogs. And this is our dachshund display with 60% of the business is all custom. So people can pick from a big swatch book and create their own design. So that's one of the things that makes Boy Oh Boy really, really special.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here. Thanks so much, and congratulations on all this great stuff you have going.
Thanks again, Marty.
We have more than 70 boutiques here at the Hampton Classic. And we're going to come here and look at some of this magnificent artwork that we have here with custom portraits. Oh, we have one being painted as we speak. So let's come and take a look.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the Hampton Classic.
Thank you.
Tell us about this painting you're doing.
So I'm doing a painting demo this week in the boutique garden here. And you can see the underpainting started underneath with some of the warm tones, and then I'm going to build up layer by layer until the final brushstroke.
Wow, it's really magnificent. And you're Jen?
Jen Brandon Studio.
See how I looked at that, I put it together, and they say I don't have a brain up here.
Who would say that?
And how many years have you been at the Hampton Classic?
This is my 6th year here.
Your 6th year, and it's a good spot for you?
We love it.
Good.
Yes, it's a great show.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. So now we're stopping by to visit at Ace in Everett, and tell us a little bit about what you have here.
Yeah, would love to. So we have some beautiful American-made dress socks. So we've got 3 different material blends. Over here we've got silk and supima.
Wow, I love the feel as well as the look.
Really appreciate that. Then we've got, as we move towards the fall season, we've got a merino wool and a supima cotton blend.
I'll tell you, with the weather we had this morning, these I'll bet were a hot seller early this
Absolutely.
morning.
And then finally here we have the rest of our fall collection, which is an organic supima. So extremely soft and cozy. They're all knit in North Carolina.
Wow.
And then all the beautiful patterns are inspired by the architecture of New York City.
Very good. They're magnificent looking.
Thank you.
And then the feel when you get like you say, just soft.
Texture.
I mean, as comfortable as can be.
Oh, absolutely. And one size fits most. So we've had a great showing so far here at the Classic.
Super. How many years have you been here?
This is my first year.
First year. And so
Yeah.
if you said a great showing, so I guess you'll plan to come back.
Oh, 100%.
Well, we're really thrilled that you're here.
Awesome. Thanks so much for stopping by.
All right, thank you. Here we're at Jot, and we see these jackets at the horse shows quite a bit. Can we interrupt you for a quick second? It's good to see you too. So I was just saying how we see your jackets all over on the horse show circuit. And a chilly morning like we had this morning, I'll bet everyone was flocking to come see you.
Fantastic.
Tell us about the jackets.
Well, they're French designed, slim fit, ultra lightweight, 100% down. So they're washable, they're packable, and they are nice and fitted so you can layer on top of them as well as underneath.
They're super lightweight, and yet, you know, they give you the warmth as if it were something bigger and heavier.
So, like, this is our basic jacket, and then we have our basic vest, and we have outerwear for men, women, and children.
I know it's very popular with adults and the kids, but we see the kids wearing them a lot of times at the horse shows.
Yes, it's been really popular. So we're thrilled to be in this community, and everyone loves Jot, so it's all great.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we're thrilled that you're here at the Hampton Classic.
Thank you, Marty. Great to see you.
Here at the Style Liner booth, one of the rocks of our boutique garden here at the Hampton Classic.
The anchor, Marty,
The anchor, Joey.
Yeah.
You got that right. How have things been going?
Well, it's wonderful that it's so cold because we have lots of coats and they're flying because it's 58 degrees in September.
Right, so a little chillier than we wanted. We always say the Hampton Classic's the perfect end to the perfect summer, but it ended a few days earlier.
Yeah, they cut it short a little bit, but that's okay. It's actually good riding weather, so all the riders are kind of relieved.
And sunny and warm is always good. I mean, sunny is always good,
Sunny
even if it's not warm.
Sunny is always good. Everyone's in a good mood. Everyone likes shopping. So.
And here's one of your random customers.
No, he's my biggest sucker. Like, I really can get this guy to shop. It's amazing.
You have to understand what's special about Skyliner and Joey is that she was 8 years old running around here like a maniac.
Yes.
And now she's an adult maniac.
And now my
And
2-year-old is a
it's
maniac
right.
running around here.
And it is really a transition and really a pleasure to have her here year after year. She's a stable and she's really a friend of the Hampton Classic.
Thank you. I love the Hampton Classic.
Well-
I'm devastated not to be showing this year because I'm the winner here usually, but I have a pregnant belly.
She likes to be the winner. She's not always the winner.
I'm always the winner. This is my show that I always win at. Yeah.
Well, anyone who
So,
comes to the Hampton
yeah.
Classic is a winner because being
Okay,
here
you
is
guys
an
are so
incredible
PC.
experience.
It's cool. Edit that out. Okay.
Well, Joey, we always wish you the best
Thank
of luck,
you.
and we'll look forward to seeing you back in the ring next year.
Yes, definitely winning, obviously.
And Dennis, how'd I do?
You did really great. You have this job.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes.
Talk to you
Bye,
soon.
Marty.
We're here with Jim Drafield, who has a very interesting career, petography. So, Jim, tell us about what you do.
Well, I come to your home and I shoot your pet with a camera usually.
Careful, that was quite the wording.
Yeah. There are times though. No, I'm kidding. Always with the camera.
Always with the camera.
And these are my photos here. This is in Nantucket with a woman with her puppy. And this one up here is sort of a famous person, a gal by the name of Jennifer Aniston, who's trying to break into show business.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah, I think she'll have a career, I think.
So you went to her home and shot her pet.
I photographed her pet, yes.
Yeah, photographed, correct.
And let's see, there's one. I like to take elements around the area and help create the aesthetic. So this is in an old barn in Connecticut, but I travel the country. I go as far as Mongolia. So if you have a home in
That's
Mongolia,
outside the
that's
country.
outside the country. For those people who have their summer homes in Mongolia, I can go there and stuff. But I travel the country and do this. Yes.
And how many years have you been here at the Hampton Classic?
I've been here like 18 years, I think.
Wow,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obviously you like it here.
I love it here. It's awesome. It's the best week of my year.
Well, that's super. We're always thrilled to have you here, if only for your smiling face.
Oh, well, thanks, Marty.
But also, it's such an unusual service that you provide, and the products are all incredibly beautiful. So we love having you
Well,
here.
I love being here.
Welcome back next year.
I will be back.
So the next boutique we'd like to visit is Catherine Paige Shoes. Just a gorgeous setup here, as you can see. And as we step inside, here's Catherine. Catherine, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you today?
Doing super, thank you. Welcome back to the Hampton Classic.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. It's such a beautiful show. It's the prettiest one of the year.
Well, we like to think so. Thank you so much for saying that. And tell us a bit about your shoes.
So my line of shoes is inspired by bridal work. So we in the hunter world particularly refer to this stitching as fancy stitch, and it's what we have on our horses' show bridles, the fancy bridles that they show in. So I was inspired by that stitching to create the line of sandals. I've been in business now for 4 years. This is my second year at the Hampton Classic. The ladies love them. They're beautiful, they're comfortable, they're made in Italy. If you can't come see me at the horse show, you can visit me online at www.catherinepage.co.
And that's Catherine with an A in the middle.
It is. Thanks for remembering.
Well, we're so thrilled to have you back this year, and it's a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks, guys.
So the next boutique we'd like to visit is Anatomy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Thank you for asking.
Tell us a bit about what you have here.
Okay, so basically Anatomy is a designer travel brand. We specialize in performance textiles that are made for easy care, no dry cleaning, so it's wash and wear. We do a lot of safari kits, and the ladies are just active that wear our brand for when they're traveling. If you wash our pants, they dry in about an hour, 9 minutes with a blow dryer. So it's all about being comfortable but stylish and put together for traveling.
Well, that's the perfect combination, comfort and style.
That's right. That's our whole. It's in our DNA, and we have ladies from around the world sending us pictures from Paris and Italy, on safari as well. And these ladies at the horse show are active women who travel a lot, so it's a good fit for our brand. Anatomy.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here at the Hampton Classic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And we'll step right next door now to Stick and Ball, and we'll see what we have in here. How are you?
I'm good. How are
Good.
you all?
Doing super, thank you. Tell us about what you have here.
Okay, my name is Elizabeth Wellborn, and my company is called Stick and Ball. And I started the company about 6 years ago, and we have a flagship store in Mill Valley, California. Stick and Ball is, I'm a polo player, so this is polo and, of course, jumping and equestrian sports are my inspiration for the brand.
and
Hence the name Stick and Ball.
hence the name Stick and Ball. We're hoping to stick and ball in Southampton on Monday, actually.
Oh, very
Out on
good.
a horse. So many of my products have a lot of inspiration from the West Coast as well as South America. My textiles, mainly for my apparel, are baby alpaca from Peru.
Very soft.
Yeah, and there's I work with a lot of artisans down in Peru as well as in the U.S. To make almost everything here by hand. So we have hand knitted ponchos as well as hand woven textiles. Our leather is Italian leather that's imported and sewn in California. And we have a whole like luxury leather division now. Our jewelry is actually hand forged in New York. We also have some from Argentina as well. And we also have some textiles from Turkey as well, from a women's cooperative that are woven there. So we love to have great quality, base materials and textiles, and we also love a lot of handwork in our things. So.
And how many years have you been at the Hampton Classic?
This is our second year. Last year we were on Stable Row, and this year we have our nice booth in the Boutique Garden.
Well, we love having you here.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hamptons Television.